You want to know what being in the top 1% truly means? It's not just about wealth, influence, or fame, number. It's something far sharper, far colder. It's about becoming the kind of force this world can't dismiss. It's about being the one who didn't break, didn't quiver, didn't grovel for approval. It's the one who was shattered, cast aside, forgotten, and rose again with quiet resolve, not a plea for pity. You think standing out means being noticed? Wrong. The top 1% means fading into the shadows until the moment arrives to dismantle everything they built without you. This world, it doesn't celebrate the loyal. It doesn't cheer for the gentle. It doesn't honor the broken. It grinds you down, tests your limits, bleeds you dry, then acts stunned when you strike back. So if you're here, crushed, lost, questioning your worth, that's your evidence. You're being forged in the same crucible that shaped the greats. But you've got to choose in music. Will you turn to dust or rise as the fire itself? They tell you, stay the same. Don't change, ironic, right? They only say that when your existence serves their needs. The second your silence turns to distance and your distance sparks transformation, they get nervous. They whisper, "You're not the same." Damn right you're not. Growth looks like betrayal to those who only loved you when you were broken. The top 1% isn't for the soft or the settled. It's for the deliberate, the relentless, the ones who know their pain doesn't owe anyone an explanation. You think people stay because they care? Most stay because you're useful, easing their boredom, healing their wounds, propping up their egos. But the day you go quiet, stop justifying, stop giving, they choke on your absence. That's when you start climbing toward the 1%. It's a lonely road, but solitude builds warriors, silent, kind, but deadly all the same. Need an example? Imagine a guy, quiet, loyal, always showing up, giving more than he gets, never complaining. They call him soft, predictable, expendable, until one day he walks away. No drama, no warning, just gone. 6 months later, he's unrecognizable. Physically sharper, mentally tougher, financially stronger. He's not out to prove a point. He's moving like a storm, silent, deliberate, needing no one's permission. Suddenly, those who dismissed him mutter, "He's changed. He's cold." That's the entry fee to the 1%. They never saw it coming because you were never the loud one. You were the quiet one they thought would stay forever. The top 1% doesn't rise from applause. It's forged in rejection, pain, abandonment, and a silence so deep it speaks louder than words. Your quiet becomes a language they learn to hear without you saying a thing. And here's the harsh truth: you won't be celebrated. You'll be envied, resented, feared, because you reflect what they could have been if they chose discipline over dreams. Everyone wants the 1%, but they want it cheap. They crave the glory, not the grind. They want the crown, not the cuts. Getting here means staring in the mirror when no one clapped, no one believed, no one checked in. You push through betrayal, despair, self-doubt, fake friends, false lovers, empty promises, without an audience. When you emerge, forged, dangerous, unshakable, they'll act like they saw it coming. Don't buy it. Keep building. Revenge isn't in noise, it's in results, in silence so loud it haunts their sleepless nights as they scroll through your progress. This isn't just motivation, it's a wake-up call. They lied to you. They said love wins, number, power wins, discipline wins, walking away from what drains you wins, saying no, even when your heart screams yes, wins. What doesn't? Chasing those who've already decided your worth, explaining yourself to ears that don't hear, watering dead plants and calling it hope. Want the 1%? Get cold. Get calculated. Get strategic. Life's not emotional. It's math. You either add value or get subtracted. Simple. The top 1% bleeds differently. You hurt? but don't post it. You lose, but don't beg. You bury it deep and build over the grave. That's what makes you untouchable. That's what makes you a threat. The world reacts, lashing out, proving their worth to people who've already judged them lacking. But you evolve in the shadows. No fanfare, no tears, just quiet work. Just sharp, patient pain you carry like a weapon. That's the cost. The truth no one puts on posters. To be top 1%, you make peace with betrayal. You get stabbed so many times your spine turns to steel. You walk upright, not because you're healed, but because pain made you bulletproof. Success doesn't come from motivation. That's child's play. It's born when you stop waiting to feel ready. You move forward, fear clawing at your throat, alone, broken, tired. Real strength isn't loud. It's silent endurance, pushing on while the world bets on your fall. And when you don't, when you stand tall, they panic. They never thought you'd last. That's what makes the 1% rare. You weren't supposed to survive, but you did. And you don't return for applause, you return for progress. Those who underestimated you, they saw their own weaknesses in you, fragile, dependent, replaceable. They didn't know you were built in silence, at home in solitude, stacking every no into bricks for your empire. Notice how they react when you go quiet. That's not confusion, it's fear. Silence is clarity, silence is strategy. And a person with strategy is a threat. The world fears someone who no longer needs validation, who's been to hell and doesn't need to explain it. That's the most dangerous kind of person alive. Here's the darkest truth. You can't save those who thrive on your weakness. Some don't want you healed. They want you broken, accessible, predictable. When you start evolving, they call you cold, say you've lost your spark. What they mean is you're no longer easy to manipulate. You stop being their convenience when you realize they only loved you because you made their lives easier, not for who you are. The mask falls. You stop loving blindly and start seeing clearly. Not everyone deserves your energy. Not everyone earns your comeback. Some only got close because they knew you'd never say no. But now, you say no like it's a full sentence. That's power. That's real. That's top 1%. They'll talk behind you, doubt you, try to smear your name, but they can't erase results. Silence plus discipline equals impact, not fists, but a quiet so loud it shatters their ego. Every step you climb, they feel it. They stalk your progress, ask about you, whisper. Why? Because your presence lingers, even when you're gone. That's legacy. That's proof you were never just another name. You were the one they never expected to outshine them. But you did, quietly. Keep moving. Don't look back. The moment you decide no apologies are owed, no explanations needed, no access granted without effort, that's when you become everything they feared. Why do you still carry people who'd let you drown? Why do you cling to memories of those who forgot you the moment someone else gave them attention? That's the curse of the real ones, the ones who meant every word, who didn't fake their heart to get what they wanted. The top 1% didn't get here because life was kind. They got here because they stopped being soft in a world that preys on softness. You poured love like it was endless, and they treated it like it was optional. They walked over your loyalty like it was nothing. And when you pulled back, when you stopped cleaning up their messes, they called you toxic, distant, emotionless. But what they meant was, you stopped letting them feed off your fire. You stopped chasing, you let them walk. And instead of breaking, you rebuilt. That's how the elite are made. Not by applause, not by approval, but by exile. By healing in silence while they laughed in your absence. No one's coming to save you. Not friends, not family, not your ex, not your potential. You either become the storm or drown in someone else's. They love to say you've changed like it's a sin, but change is survival. Change is evolution. Change is saying, I'm done burning myself to keep others warm. They want you stuck, soft, Needy, because when you're hurting, you're predictable. But when you stop playing the victim, when you stop whining and start building in silence, they get scared. Not because you're loud, but because your silence is calculated. You're not here to be liked anymore. You're here to dominate, to reclaim every piece of worth they tried to strip away. Walking away from someone you love because they don't love you, right? That's not weakness. That's war. You fought it alone, no medals, no cameras, just you against every broken promise, every ignored message, every forever that vanished like smoke. You didn't break, you hardened. That's why they don't recognize you now. You're not the version they took for granted. Silence works because it forces them to face the void they created. You stop reaching out, stop showing up, stop justifying your existence, and they choke on the echo of their own choices. That's power. You don't need closure when your success screams louder than your words ever could. Let them twist the story. Act like they left you, like they found better. Truth is, they didn't leave you. They lost you. And no one replaces what's rare. They just learned to live without it, haunted by it at 3 a.m. Healing isn't soft or pretty. It's brutal. It's crying on floors where you once danced. It's deleting memories you swore you'd keep forever. It's breaking every piece of yourself to feel whole again. And once you've done that, you don't let people touch you the same. You don't accept half love. You don't let chaos back in unless it brings peace. That's the secret of the 1%. We don't tolerate drama disguised as love. We don't coddle emotional immaturity. We guard our peace like it's gold, because it is. When you prioritize clarity over comfort, the game changes. You walk like a ghost through their memories, silent, cold, unforgettable. You're not too cold, too distant, too heartless. You're protecting what they couldn't handle when it was warm. They mistook your patience for permission, your kindness for weakness, your silence for surrender. Now they watch you rise where they expected you to fall. That's why they're bitter. They lost access to someone who'd have given them the world. And now you're building your own without them. They only value you when your back is turned, when your name becomes a rumor, when your silence feels heavier than your presence ever did. You weren't just someone they knew. You were the one they should have never crossed, but it's too late. The top 1% doesn't return to fix old wounds. We don't entertain what ifs. We burn the bridge, scatter the ashes, and build an empire with the hands they tried to break. People only see your worth when they can't benefit from it anymore. That's not love, that's regret. They don't miss you. They miss what you did for them. The comfort you gave, the way you showed up when no one else did. But that was never love. It was their survival, fed by your generosity. When you stopped giving, they started grieving, not for you, but for the convenience of you. Now, when they see your progress, when your name echoes in places they never imagined, they don't cheer. They panic. They know what they lost, and it's never coming back. Pain isn't punishment. It's the tuition for greatness. Every sleepless night, every fake friend, every betrayal, every scar, you needed it. Without it, you'd still be soft, chasing people who were never meant to stay. But now, in the silence, you hear the truth. You don't need them. You never did. You were just too loyal to walk away from what wasn't feeding your soul. Once you break that illusion, once you stop waiting for permission to grow, you become something they can't touch, something they can't destroy. You become rare, and rare doesn't chase. Rare doesn't explain. Rare just watches as those who doubted you drown in their own mediocrity. They thought you were weak because you gave them 1,000 chances, but you were building patience. Now your silence is called ego, but it's really boundaries, standards, self-respect. Raise those standards and you lose people you were never meant to keep. That's not loss, that's alignment. The universe is clearing space. The higher you climb, the smaller your circle gets. That's how it's supposed to be. The top is lonely because not everyone's willing to sacrifice comfort for their calling. They don't get how you became this. Cold, focused, strategic. They think something's wrong with you. Nothing's wrong. You're just done with drama, done with chaos, done with people who drain you. You've outgrown the noise. You walk into rooms now, and you don't need to prove a thing. You don't care if they like you. You don't shrink to fit in. You're not here to be understood. You're here to be undeniable. And people hate what they can't control. Let them talk. Let them misread your silence. Let them choke on their assumptions. Meanwhile, you keep moving, keep building, keep becoming what they said you couldn't. They know what they lost. They just won't admit it. They pretend they're happier, pretend you didn't matter, but they're haunted by you, by the fact that someone like you doesn't come twice. The top 1% means choosing discipline over desire. It means walking away from what you want because you know what you deserve. It means choosing peace over chaos, focus over noise, growth over comfort. That's not easy, it's a war. Your heart screams, your mind begs, your body craves what's familiar. But the 1% doesn't bow to emotion. We don't chase old flames that burned us. We walk forward, even when it hurts. Long-term pain is cheaper than temporary comfort. That's the currency of the greats. The world tests you, not with storms, but with silence, indifference, abandonment. It wants to see if you'll keep going when no one claps, when every door slams shut, when those you bled for act like you never existed. That's the crucible. And if you're still here, still breathing, still building in silence, you've already passed trials most will never face. You don't need their validation. Your existence, this version of you, the one who didn't quit, is proof you belong in the 1%. But once you're here, there's no going back. You'll be misunderstood, feared, labeled. You'll intimidate those who haven't faced their demons. They'll call you cold, arrogant, heartless, but you're not. You're free. And freedom scares those trapped in approval, begging for love, faking strength in crowds because they can't handle solitude. You're not like them anymore. You've walked through a different fire. The only ones who get you are those who've bled in silence too. You didn't have a crowd cheering your resilience. You had empty rooms, unanswered texts, nights where your chest felt crushed by everything you didn't say. That's how this version of you was born, not in comfort, not in love, but in war. Now you wear silence like armor. You trust slowly. You watch everything. When you speak, your words hit harder because they're backed by scars, not theories. The 99% talk about pain like it's poetry. The 1% live it, become it, and turn it into power. You don't broadcast the rebuild. You disappear. And when they look for the version of you they used to exploit, you're gone, replaced by someone colder, smarter, someone who sees through their games before they're played. That's when you know you're rising. When your existence becomes a mirror, showing them what they lack but once had access to. That's the karma, the silent revenge. They lost you at your softest. Now they'll never survive your silence. Don't wait for them to admit it. They won't. They'll fake smiles, flex half-truths, twist the story to make you the villain. Accountability isn't their language. Let them drown in their illusions. While they rewrite the past, you're writing your future. One that doesn't carry dead weight. One that's sharp, precise, clean. You move with purpose now. Every step calculated, every breath deliberate. You've suffered too much to move recklessly. You've trusted the wrong ones too many times to not walk like a ghost around new ones. That's what makes you top 1%. Not money, not fame, but awareness, control, restraint. You don't owe anyone your softness anymore. That version of you died when they lied to your face like nothing was wrong, when they ignored your pain, when they watched you drown and turned away. What rose from that grave? That's who you are now. Quiet, watchful, strategic. Not bitter, but wise. This world respects results, not reasons. Discipline, not desire. Power, not pity. If they couldn't handle your warmth, they can't survive your cold. Stop shrinking. Stop explaining. The ones who get it won't make you bleed to see your worth. The ones who hurt you. They were your lesson, not your people. Learn it. Own it. Move on. You're not going back. Not to them. Not to who you were. Not to a life that treated your pain like background noise. This new chapter is written in silence, in discipline, in choosing peace over passion, growth over guilt. You don't justify your success. You don't check if they're watching. You become unforgettable because that's the only closure that matters. Becoming the version of yourself that makes them regret ever thinking you'd stay small. That's top 1%. That's your story now. Let them whisper. Let them wonder. Let them try to circle back. Stay gone. This path doesn't accept applications from the past. This is for the silent warriors, the broken rebuilders, the ones who survived their own minds, who didn't fold under the weight. This is your reward. Not love, not applause, but peace, clarity, power. The moment you stop seeking acceptance, you become dangerous. Not loud, but in a way that makes silence feel like thunder. You stopped asking, was I enough for them? And started asking, were they even worthy of me? That's when you flipped the script. That's when they lost access to the old you. And trust me, they feel it, because silence from someone real is louder than screams from someone fake.